guys, good morning. It's about 7:30 or so. Been up for a couple hours already. Already got a Can-Am on tarp and everything. Unfortunately, UPS let us down. Fire suppression system didn't make it in time, so I threw the fireball thingy back in there. Truthfully, I don't even know if it works. Frankly, I really don't think it works, but it's better than nothing. So, got a GoPro on the roof, GoPro put in there and stuff. And so what we're gonna do actually, so this one's just gonna pick up outside noise. There's gonna be one here that's gonna pick up the mic noise. So that way I can talk into the, into the recording basically. This one will be recording like what's in front of us. That way on our pre-run, I'll be able to, kind of make verbal notes and have it saved in video. That way I can go back and I can look and I can see, what I want to change, and I can update my notes. So, pro tip. Otherwise, pretty much all ready to go. Suits are just inside and stuff, so ready to go down to tech. Tech is later this morning. After that, it's pre-run. All right. It's a good day. So we are just getting started doing some pre-running. This is not like your typical Baja style pre-running where people can get there, several weeks in advance and pre-run for, a week straight. At this little bit more grassroots level, and especially when this is on private property, you get to pre-run the day before the race. So this is everybody's first time being on the course for this year. And pretty much when you're out here, you are basically just trying to mark out where the course goes, any, gotchas, any dangers or anything like that. You're trying to get everything marked so that when you are going racing, basically you feel confident to hammer down. I'm sure everybody out there has seen a lot of like the rally car videos and stuff where the navigator is just constantly reading off notes. It's not quite like that for us. It's similar, but definitely not the same. Calling out a lot of things that could potentially, hurt you, like dips, rocks, that kind of thing, jumps and stuff. But a lot of it is, just trying to get familiar with the course at least a little bit. That jump, in the qualifying run, we absolutely sent that to the moon. I basically hit that flat-footed, not really thinking much about it, until we were up in the air and I realized I may have overbaked this a little bit. We flew so far I could not believe it. Talking to everybody else back in the pits, like after the race, apparently everybody else checks up on that quite a bit. Me and one other guy hit that thing flat-footed one time. And after that, we checked up as well. So it definitely sent us for a ride, that's for sure. Everything was good. It was all fine and dandy, but sweet Jesus, you were in the air for a long time. So this section right here, it's kind of hard to tell on the camera. It is very off-camber. Very, very off-camber. Really makes the car feel rather upset and stuff, like it wants to roll the whole time, especially running these grooves, or these ruts. And right here is something you're trying to mark. This, man, the GoPro really does not do it justice, but it's about 3 feet deep and it's about a perfect buggy length long. And if you hit that at speed, especially in this off-camber area, like if you hit it at speed on a flat road, it'd probably be just fine. But if you hit it on this off-camber road where the rear end of the car is constantly wanting to, kind of like sag down to the left, downhill, it would really upset it. So stuff like that, and then stuff like this corner, right, where it's a really off-camber corner, with a lot of bumps in it and stuff, that's the kind of stuff you're trying to mark in the pre-run to really get everything dialed in so that you know exactly what's coming up. So typically during a pre-run, I shouldn't say typically, it's like 50-50. Sometimes you're allowed to stop like we are here. Sometimes they basically make you all keep moving and stuff. But otherwise, here we're allowed to stop. So we would pull over, kind of whenever we needed to and stuff, and we'd update our notes. We'd be taking all of our notes on an iPad. I was wanting to do voice notes via GoPro, but our GoPro that was recording in our helmets It died like 20 seconds in, which kind of made me a little mad because I went through a lot of work to try to figure out how to make it all work, and yeah, it didn't work. But anyway, so we would just pull over and we'd update our notes and stuff like that. When you have to do the notes on the fly, it's quite challenging. You end up using a lot of symbols and stuff like that, but here we just made it work. So it was a lot easier for us. During the pre-running, we were allowed to pre-run the qualifying course as well, which I don't know what I was thinking at the time. I was so concerned with just getting out there on the regular course that I didn't really, like, we halfway pre-ran the qualifying course, but I really should have paid way more attention to it. Definitely hurt our qualifying position. I think we qualified like 7th or something like that. I left so much time on the table when I went back and I watched the videos. There was so much time left on the table just because I was so unfamiliar with it. Like, I had no idea when you came into a dip, I had no idea if that was a massive G out, if it went down and went to the left, went to the right, went straight. I had no idea. So hindsight, definitely should have paid way more attention to that. Obviously, can't do anything about it now and stuff. And in the moment, I felt like we did okay given, you know, the cards that we were dealt. I shouldn't say the cards we were dealt. The cards that we dealt ourselves, I felt like we did okay with it. So a lot of times the event organizers will mark out some of the real dangerous stuff. Like right here, you can see these markers that you go through, and right here is a really big off-camber hole that, again, if you hit that at speed, it's going to end your day 100%. You know, they've tried to mark stuff like that for you just because, I mean, it's really obvious, you know, that it's just a big overall safety concern. It doesn't matter what you're in. It doesn't matter if you're in a trophy truck, a class 1, or a UTV, you're going to go for a ride because it was so deep. Otherwise, you're really on your own to mark out whatever you think you need to mark out. You know, and a lot of it was kind of running through this like open terrain, and we did get to go in like some of these gullies and stuff. I don't know what you'd really call this, but basically we'll call it a gully. This ended up getting really chewed out in the race, as you guys will see in an upcoming video and stuff. You know, that's another thing you're trying to really pay attention to, is you're trying to kind of pay attention to the terrain, or I should say like the soil that you're driving in, how hard it is or how soft it is, how quickly you think it's going to go away. A lot of that comes into play, you know, when you're talking about suspension setup, car setup, tire choice, all that. You really want to make the best choice for not what the track is going to look like on lap 1, but what it's going to look like, you know, for the overall average of the race, which it gets really chewed up. So this that we're driving on right now, this is like a walk in the park compared to what it's going to be like, you know, towards the after 3 laps. So this this part right here was really cool, how this like uphill section, and then you go up this big rock face. They ended up throwing this in here because they're trying to make this, last year this was an Ultra 4 sanctioned race. For some reason this year it was not, but they were wanting to throw in more stuff like this just to help make Ultra 4 happy and everything, which I thought was super fun. It definitely separated a lot of the field. You know, there were a lot of people that tried to fly up it and would break. There were other people that would fly up it with no big deal. And, you know, I tried to kind of take a little more of a conservative approach and kind of, I'm not going to say tiptoe up it, but I definitely took a little easier up it because this buggy needs to last for 12 hours. Because that's what the race tomorrow is it is long. And I wanted to make sure that we weren't going to encounter too many issues. No sense in being hard on equipment. You know, there's no trophy for winning practice. So kind of always make sure to have that mindset and stuff and really keep you focused. When you're out here pre-running, it is really hard to kind of back it down. Everybody says go 25 miles an hour. Nobody actually ever does go 25 miles an hour. They basically tell you that, you know, kind of like right up front. They're like, we know you're not going to go 25, but you better not be out there doing, you know, 50 or 60. So I tried to just keep it at like a reasonable 35 miles an hour, especially because they don't require you to wear any, like I shouldn't say any, they don't require you to wear like full fire suits and stuff like that. Still required to wear a helmet and everything. Still required to wear your neck brace. You know, obviously you put on your harnesses and all that stuff, but you're not required to wear everything. You know, and to me, I'm trying to learn the track anyway, and I'm trying to help Allie make as many notes as possible about things. So I'm really not pushing it. I'm just trying to kind of, you know, get a feel for overall how things are and stuff, and that'll be good enough. You know, again, there's no sense in winning practice. It doesn't count. So there was actually one person who I have no idea what they were thinking. There was this probably 3-foot ledge that you would go up, and I don't know what happened, but they hit that thing so fast it bucked the car over and ended up doing a couple cartwheels, and they ended up getting hauled off in a MAPE car. They were okay and stuff, but I was like, man, this is essentially practice. Again, you can't win this, like, and their weekend was done before they ever even got a chance to race. Like I said, luckily everybody was okay, but really need to remember that this sport can bite you always, and you know, you always have to be careful out there. So the good thing is with most any kind of desert racing, it really is all the racers take care of each other, because we know out there we are collectively, we are all that we have. Like, we have to rely on each other. If something really catastrophic happens, you know, whether it be a medical emergency, mechanical, something like a fire, something like that, your fellow racers, they are going to be the first ones there on site, because they will be the next ones coming up in line before, you know, any of the pit guys or any of the officials can get out there to you. So you really are relying on each other to basically have each other's backs out there and stuff. So that's the good thing about it is, you know, when those people did crash, it was a couple minutes before they were surrounded by a bunch of people helping them, which was really awesome to see. Super crappy situation stuff, and I wish, you know, that it didn't happen for them. However, it was really cool to see, you know, this, I don't know, family, I guess, right, of off-road racing, how everybody takes care of each other and stuff like that. So that is the cool thing. You're out there alone, but you're never like alone, if that makes sense. So overall, the track this year was 43 miles long. There were 2 races that took place. So there was a 200-mile race that took place on Saturday morning. Basically at 10 a.m. we all started. Everybody left the line, in 1-minute intervals. Someone would leave the line. And then also there was a 12-hour race. So basically, if you were doing the 200-mile race, you would pull off after, 4 laps you'd pull off of. I mean, it's not quite 200, but they called it 200. Anyway, so you'd pull off after lap 4, and if you were doing the 12-hour race, you'd go through the checkered, across the finish line to get your time, you know, for the 200 race, and then you just keep going, basically for 12 hours. And that's what we did. So it was a whole lot of fun. I was one of 2 other people. Yeah, me. So there are 3 of us total that Ironmanned it. Me and 2 other gentlemen. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that was definitely a challenge. So I'm really glad that we took our time to pre-run and try to make as many notes as possible, because it really, really helped a lot. And it was kind of funny because by the end of the race, I literally had the track memorized. I knew every single corner that was coming up. I knew every single bump, dip, all of it. I knew it inside and out like the back of my hand. It was definitely helpful once it got dark, because it was super dark. It was like being in a pocket. But this is overall, though, what pre-running is generally like. I know a lot of people, you know, have their own ways of doing it and stuff, but the general gist is we're all out there just trying to mark stuff and mark different things that could catch us off guard or ruin our day. So it's kind of crazy. We did 43-mile laps on this track, and this track is actually located on private property. These folks own 14,000 acres, which I find absolutely just bananas. They own 14,000 acres, and they run a cattle ranch. So we were out there, didn't see a single cow, I was kind of shocked, which also was kind of nice because never had to worry about it. But once night fell, got there, saw 3 deer that actually, one of them almost tried to jump out in front of us and stuff, so I had to dynamite the brakes. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of cool though. These people own all of this land. I thought it was absolutely wild. So when you watch the next video with the race, you'll definitely get to appreciate the size of it, because I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of the pre-running. This so far that we have done is about, I would say 15% of a lap. Like we're probably, 8 miles in, 7 miles in. So I would say let's wrap this video up here and stuff, and let's go watch the race video, because that's a little more entertaining.